Hello, my sunshine yogis. Thank you so much for being here for this class. It's going to focus on a moon flow. So we're going to take some of the moon salutation and add it into our practice and just overall have a very grounding, kind of nourishing, stretchy class, really focusing on our hips and our hamstrings. So I invite you to begin in child's pose in the middle of your mat. We'll go ahead and open the knees nice and wide. Bring your big toes to touch and just stretch your arms all the way forward, allowing your sit bones to reach back towards the heels, maybe resting there. And then as you feel comfortable and as the spine and the side waist begin to open up, just round the forehead down. And let's take a nice deep breath in through our nose, filling the whole torso up so that you feel yourself expanding in all three directions. And let's open the mouth and let that go with a long sigh. Again, inhale deeply through the nose. Feel your belly begin to expand up against your inner thighs, the back body opening up and filling up. Open mouth, let it go. Sigh it out and let your body start to melt towards the mat. And one more round on your own, inhaling through the nose, expanding in all directions. And when you're ready, exhaling through your mouth and pressing all the air out, feeling a contraction of your belly as you pull it towards your spine. Let the forehead melt towards the floor, relax the shoulders and the neck. And just take a few moments here to really give yourself a chance to ground in. So in this time, consider it your sacred time where you begin to transition from your day and into your practice. A time where you can kind of unleash the grip of the mind and turn your attention towards your body. See if as you're here in child's pose, you can really begin to listen to your breath. Listening to the inhale and noticing how it draws through the nostrils and down and into the lungs, filling you up. And then listening to the exhale as you release the breath through the nostrils, keeping our mouth closed at this point, maybe starting to create an audible sound coming into our Ujjayi breath. Let that listening activity really draw you deeper into your body. As we begin to create the yoga, the union of our mind and our body through the breath. Find a nice steady rhythm to your breath and let that be all that's on your plate right now. Let everything else just fall away and just be with your body on your mat, listening to your breath. Let the Ujjayi sound and the action of that drawing against the back of the throat begin to warm you, center you, and anchor you. On your next breath in, draw the palms together and take the thumbs back behind the head. Walk your elbows slightly forward and give a good press into them as you stretch your triceps. Continue with your nice deep breathing here, pressing the palms together, rooting the elbows down. One more nice breath in. On the exhale, release the hands forward and walk them over to the left side off of your mat, placing the right hand on top of the left. Go ahead and stretch out your right side body, anchoring down through that right hip crease and stretching open your rib cage. Breathe into the side body. And on an exhale, let it go with a sigh. Coming onto the finger pads, walk over to the right side. Left hand on top of the right, let's stretch it out here. Press through that left hip crease, anchor it down as you stretch out your left side, reaching the right fingertips away. Breathe into your left side, open up the fascia, the connective tissue there with your breath. Let it go with a sigh. Good, and then walk the hands back to center. Keep them extended well out in front of you. As you inhale, come up onto the shins and round your back. As you exhale, release the hips towards the mat and pull the heart through, coming into a little variation of cow and cat. Inhale, round it back, chin to chest, press the hips back towards the heels. Exhale, pull it through, round it forward, and then come up as the shoulders drop back and down. Good, again, let's round it back, chin to chest, hug your navel in towards your spine, land your hips. Exhale as you take it forward, kind of unfurling the spine like a nice wave. Good, inhale, round it back. We're working with the water element tonight as we appreciate the full moon, the water element being the element associated with the moon. And so maybe moving as if you were in water here, just thinking about that nice flow as we extend and flex the spine. Once you come back, landing the hips towards the heels, let's slide the fingertips all the way back as we come up to sit onto our shins and bring your fingertips back behind you. So they're going to face your sitting bones. Take a moment to just wrap your shoulder blades onto your back and feel the blades come towards one another, kind of squeezing towards the center of the spine. Use this as a way to open up your chest, just rolling those shoulder heads back. You can stay here and maybe look up at the sky. If you'd like to add a little bit more, contract those shoulder blades, engage them, and then begin to lift the hips any amount off the heels. Again, looking forward or maybe dropping the head back, pressing the front of the hips forward and breathing into this shape. Stretching out the front of the body, contracting the backside, give your glutes a good squeeze here. And on the exhale, we'll just slowly take it down. Beautiful. Keep the knees wide. We want to kind of hold this pose because we're just inviting those inner groins to open up and come into a tabletop position. So actually bring the hands a little bit further ahead of the shoulders. Now rock the hips back as if you were going to catapult yourself forward, and then come forward and reach your right arm forward and back and around as you set the hips back. So we're going to create kind of this rocking motion with a big circle of the arm, taking it back behind us as the hips move back, getting right into our joints, feeling those hips start to move. Good, and reverse direction. Take the arm forward. This is a little yoga for the brain too, as we coordinate movement, breath, and mindfulness, moving with mindfulness. And then take the arms straight up here. Reach and turn the chest towards the right. And as you exhale, you're going to thread it through and land into your thread the needle. Send your left fingertips forward. Press into the finger pads and roll onto your right shoulder just a little bit more. Ground down here, lowering that right ear to the mat as much as you can. Pressing into the right shoulder head. Maybe you take the left arm to the sacrum, the back of the hand, or you find your hip crease and you roll that left shoulder open just a little more. Take a deep breath in. With an exhale, open the mouth, let it go. Let something release to your mat. Good, and then slowly, carefully transition yourself out of this. Bring yourself back to tabletop, and then walk the hands forward of the shoulders. Once more, we'll press the hips back as if we're going to launch forward. And then come forward, reach your left hand forward, and now circle it back as you take the hips back. So we're kind of turning the chest and the gaze to the left as we move with breath, coordinating and syncing up movement and breath. That's our yoga. And then reversing direction, circling the arm forward, pressing the hips back as that arm comes back. Good, and then come right to center, turn the chest and the torso a little bit more to the left. So you're gonna wrap those right ribs under, and as you exhale, thread the arm through. Come into your thread the needle, knees wide, right fingertips now reach forward towards the top of the mat. Round your left ear and your left shoulder. Press into your right finger pads, send your right hip crease back just a little more. Breathe into this shape. Keep that Ujjayi breath steady, listen to your breath. And then maybe take the right arm up and back of the hand to the sacrum, or search for your left hip crease. If you find it, wrap your right shoulder back. Pull it open. Take a deep and full breath in. Open the mouth, let it go with a ha. Beautiful. Come out of the pose slowly, carefully. How we transition is just as important as how we land into a pose. And then now let's go ahead and bring the knees underneath us. We'll tuck the toes, make your way into downward facing dog. So press into the hands, lift the hips high, and go ahead and take a moment to pedal out your legs. So this will be our first foray into the hamstring opener. So do whatever you need to do. You may want to spend some time with one knee bent and the other leg straight, pressing deeply through that heel, just to kind of work out any tension there. Feel into your body and what feels right for you tonight. As always, our practice is more of a feeling practice than anything else, right? So we want to listen to our body and see what feels good. After a little exploration, let's just come to stillness. Root down through your thumb and your forefinger. Wrap your upper arm bones in towards your ear so you're protracting your shoulder blades. You should feel kind of a widening across your upper back. Press your thigh bones back and pull your hip creases back as if somebody had a little belt wrapped around the front of your hips, and just feel them being pulled back, stretch back a little bit more, and see if you can soften your heels towards the floor just a little bit more. Good. On your next breath in, let's come forward into plank pose. You can drop to your knees if you need to. We'll pick up the right foot. Now bend the knee and cross the right ankle to the left thigh, creating a figure four. Take a deep breath in and press back to downward facing dog in your figure four. So hello, outer hip. Hello, left hamstring. Breathe into this shape, keeping your right foot flexed. Maybe you want to try bending your left knee, going a little bit deeper. This kind of intensifies it in a different way. But just really send your awareness to your right outer hip and that left hamstring. Taking a deep breath in, do your best. On the exhale, slowly release. Nice job. Right foot to the floor. Inhale, come forward into plank. And exhale, let's lower all the way down to our bellies. Take your hands off the mat. I have a little puppy here who's obstructing your view, but you're going to come up onto your fingertips and you're going to stack your elbows over your wrists. Press into the tops of your feet, and as you breathe in, tuck your chin to your chest, and as if someone were pulling the back of your head, roll yourself up into this beautiful cobra pose. On the exhale, roll it down. Again, inhale, tuck the chin to the chest, roll yourself up. Again, think of that water principle, lifting your heart. Exhaling, roll it back down. One more time, press into the finger pads, chin to chest, roll up, maybe get yourself a little bit higher, and then exhale to take it down. Beautiful. Let's find our way to downward facing dog, coming through hands and knees, or up through plank, your choice. Press the hips back, up and high. Maybe shake your head out here, take a deep breath in, let it go with a ha, as we start to really warm up the body, getting more connected, feeling everything start to fire up with a little more fluidity. All right, come forward into plank. We'll take this on the other side, lifting the left foot up now. Bend the knee, bring the ankle to the opposite thigh, flex the foot, figure 4. On an exhale, press back into your downward facing dog. So this, you may feel more in your right hamstring. You may feel it more in your left outer hip. Designed to take care of both places. So wherever you feel the most sensation, send the most breath there. Staying here, or maybe trying to bend into that right knee, seeing how maybe that changes the pose for you. Pretty intense. I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling it. Good, let's take a breath in. On the exhale, release that left foot to the mat. On your in-breath, come forward into beautiful plank pose. Stretch your heels back, press into your hands, keep your chest lifted. On the exhale, resist gravity as you slowly come down. Elbows close to the ribs. Untuck the toes. Again, come onto your little finger pads, spider your fingers and your hands off the mat. And as you inhale, let's roll up, chin to chest. Exhaling, drop your right shoulder and turn your gaze to the left. Stay here for a breath or two, stretching out the front of that right shoulder. Good, inhale, let's come back to center. Press into the finger pads, lengthen. Exhale, other side, left shoulder drops. Turn your gaze, look over the right. Breathe some openness across the front of your left shoulder. Good, inhale, let's come back, peel it up. And then exhale to take it down. Hands alongside the ribs, your choice. Make your way back to downward facing dog. Pay attention to your transition. Listen to your body. Does it have the juice to come up through plank, or would you just like to come through hands and knees? Pay attention, make the right choice. Take a deep breath in when you arrive in dog. Exhale it out with a ha. Good, let's walk it forward. So take some baby steps, come all the way to the top of your mat and arrive in your forward fold, letting everything go here. Relaxing the upper body, letting your torso get heavy, hanging over the front of your thighs. Try to shift a little more weight into your toe tips rather than back into the heels. Grab opposite elbows if you'd like. Take any kind of movement here, a little sway, whatever feels good. Now your legs may be bent here, that's fine. If the hamstrings are tight, honor that tonight. Give them what they need. Good, and we'll take our hands back behind our back. Let's find a clasp here. Press the palms together, and as much as you can, start to lift your fisted palms up and overhead. So a big stretch for the front of the chest, a big squeeze of the shoulder blades onto the back. Feel that opening, collarbones widening, heart space opening, rolling your shoulders back. Shake out your head so your neck doesn't get tense or locked up in any way. And then as if someone had a string around your wrist and was pulling it up to the sky, with a soft bend in your knees, let's roll ourselves up to stand. Lifting up through your hands, stacking your bones as you rise up. Go ahead and let the back of the head drop and keep your shoulders rolling back and open up your heart towards the sky. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, lion's breath, let it go with a ha, sticking your tongue out. Good, let's gaze forward, keep the clasp, and we'll go ahead and bring our hands to rest on our left hip crease. So draw that left elbow in, and then on an exhale, you're just gonna drop your right ear to your right shoulder. So trying to take a nice neck opener here. Feel that left side start to open. Rooting down through your feet. You may want to explore dropping your chin down for a different stretch, or maybe even rolling it up towards the ceiling for yet another stretch. Just kind of exploring that spectrum and that range of motion in your neck, wherever it feels perhaps the most sticky, you might want to stay and breathe. Beautiful. Gently come back to center. Draw your arms over to the other side, resting your fists on your right hip, pulling that right elbow in. On an exhale, drop the left ear towards the left shoulder and keep pinning the elbows in towards one another. One side's going to be a lot tighter than the other. This may be that side for you. Try to keep the tops of the shoulders drawing away from the ears. And again, you may want to play with a little exploration of your chin, dropping it down. Looking forward, keeping the throat nice and open, or maybe turning the gaze up. Whatever feels right for you. Kind of dial it in. Don't be afraid to kind of change it up. A little movement, a little stillness, whatever feels good. Beautiful. And then we'll go ahead and draw the head back and up to center. Bring the arms back behind you. Take one more stretch as you lift your chest. On the exhale, release the clasp and bring your arms all the way up and overhead. Let the palms meet at the top. Deep breath in, stretch it all the way up. As you exhale, take a forward fold, coming down with a flat back, hinging from your hips. Halfway lift here. Pull the heart forward, look out past the top of your mat, and straighten your spine as much as possible. Fingertips onto the shins, or if you have a block, you could bring a block along. You may want to have a block for later. Breathe in as you lengthen the spine. Breathe out as you forward fold. One more time, halfway lift. Engage your belly quite a bit here. Pull it in and up towards your heart. Tailbone lengthens back, crown of the head lengthens forward, shoulders draw away from your ears. On an exhale, forward fold. Good, one more breath in as we look forward. And exhaling, making your way back to downward facing dog, stretching it out. Reground through your foundations, your hands and your feet. Maybe feeling a little more openness in the hamstrings by now. Move if you need to. Remember, it's your practice, right? I'm just here to guide, but follow what your body needs. Let's lift the right leg up, stretch it back. We'll bend the knee and open the hip. So try to keep the shoulders level and square. Press evenly through your hands. And keep lifting that right knee up. Roll out the ankle if you'd like. Feel free to roll the knee. Any little movement here that could help you create a little bit more mobility in that right hip. Good, big breath in. As you exhale, let's step the foot forward up by your right thumb. And we're gonna go ahead and ground the left knee. Stack your knee over your ankle and rise on up. Bringing the arms overhead to start. Stretching into your left hip. So we've got a couple of options here as we move forward, and I'll go ahead and provide them to you in order of their level of difficulty. So option number one, place your hands on the front of your right thigh And begin to straighten them and just press your rib cage away from your thigh. As you do that, you should feel that left hip flexor kind of get a good stretch. So this may be just enough where you want to be tonight. If you'd like to go a little bit deeper and access that psoas muscle, take your left arm up and then go ahead and lean to the right. You may drop into your right knee a little bit more, drop deeper into that left hip. So see if that kind of gives you the satisfaction that you need in this pose. If you want to go a little bit deeper, and this would be the most intense, stack the hands one more time on that right thigh and untuck your back toes. So you're going to press into the top of that right foot, really give it a good press, and lift your left kneecap. Now this is really intense. This is designed to really strengthen and tone your psoas muscle, but you'll feel the stretch as well. So that's number 3, and that's the most intense. So go ahead and choose what feels right for you tonight and send your breath and your awareness there. So doing the work, but relying on our breath to help us through the more challenging sensations, right? We always have our breath here to lean into. And then if something is feeling too much, you can always switch it up. Good, take one more breath in. And then as you exhale, we're just gonna slowly release our hands down to the mat. Let's go ahead and lift that back knee and pull the hips up and back, straightening the front leg. Really feel the hips now start to square as you pull your right hip crease back in line with the left. Bow your torso out and over your front thigh. Maybe look forward to gain a little more length in the spine. If you want to, put your right thumb into your right hip crease and invite it back just a little bit more. Plug into your right big toe, or maybe pull the toes back towards your shin to get a deeper stretch. Breathing is the #1 priority, so stay focused on your breath. One more breath in. On the exhales, bring the foot to the floor if it was lifted, soften into your front knee, and walk your fingertips towards the top of the mat. Now, thinking of a transition, we're going to move into L shape, or what looks like standing split, but with our legs in an L. So root through your right foot, push off slowly from that back foot, and lift your left leg up. So this is where you could use a block if you'd like to help with balance and to bring the mat up a little bit closer to you. This is really going to work your right hamstring. You're going to feel it, and your right outer hip. Stretch into it. Flex your lifted foot, drawing the toes down and wrapping that left outer hip down. So we're engaging both of our legs quite a bit here. Breathe as you root through your right standing leg. Breathe as you press through your left lifted heel. Good, one more breath in, hang in there, guys. As you exhale, cross your left ankle behind your right and come into a forward fold. So you want to try to line up your toes as much as possible, pressing the soles of both feet into the mat, all 10 toes, big toe, pinky toes, and everything in between. Fold as deeply as you can here, breathing into it. Pretty intense. Hamstrings part 2, or maybe part 3 by now. Yeah, definitely part 3. If you'd like a little bit more, walk your fingers over to the right side, turning your torso, keeping your legs where they are. Breathing into your left outer hip. Oh, yeah. Good, and then slowly walking it back. Now follow me here. You're gonna unhook your left foot, send it all the way back towards the back of the mat. And you're gonna heel toe your right foot over to the left, lowering the shin down for pigeon pose, early pigeon pose. So look back at your left foot, line your heel up with your sit bone and try to make sure that your foot isn't sickling. You want your toes to point straight back behind you. Adjust your hips so that they're square and you're not leaning off to the right or off to the left. If you need to, bring a blanket or a block and prop up underneath your right bum. Coming up onto the fingertips, let's get a little length here. You can stay here for the whole pose if you'd like, or as you feel comfortable, you're welcome to lower down, taking yourself onto your forearms if you'd like, or a block, or grabbing your blanket. This is a good time to close your eyes. Let's get really grounded. Let the earth support you. And with every exhale, let something go into that sweet Mother Earth. She'll collect all of our unwanted emotions, the things that we don't need, and she'll transmute them into beautiful things. So give something up that you don't need to be carrying around with you. It could be a thought, it could be a behavior, right? It could be something like a habit or a relationship. It could be all kinds of things, but just give it up here, right? Something that just is weighing you down that you don't need to have. Use this opportunity to clear the slate. Good, take another full breath in. Listen to your breath as you breathe in. Let it go. Nice long exhale, listening to that exhale. Slowly begin to lift yourself up, walking the fingertips in as you lift your chest. We're going to roll onto that right sit bone and go ahead and swing the left foot all the way around to the outside of your right thigh, coming into our seated twist. So the tricky thing here is to get your sit bones level and even onto the floor, and then to ground that left foot. It may want to pop up or it might not quite meet the mat, but do your best to kind of ground it down. And once you feel like you're level and seated, take your left fingertips behind you, close to the base of your spine. Press into them and lengthen, lifting up through the crown of the head. Right arm comes up. And as you exhale, turn your chest and maybe either grab your shin or hook that elbow to the outside of the left thigh. Pressing into the finger pads, you're going to lengthen your spine, get tall. And then on the exhale, you're going to use your elbow to thigh connection, like a little lever to help turn the chest to the left. Gaze past your left shoulder. Stay grounded through your sit bones and stay steady and even with your breath. Breathing in, lengthening. Breathing out, we bring it out. We let something go here. Releasing all the tension along the length of the spine. Maybe feeling a little correction in the spine if you're lucky enough to get a chiropractic adjustment through your twist. Good, one more breath in. On the exhale, let's release to an open twist, other way. So just look to your right, turn your chest to the right. Roll your right shoulder back. Stay tall. Good, now follow me, guys. We're gonna keep turning to the right and we're gonna come to the back of our mats in downward facing dog. So walk your hands back behind you. Your feet are kind of almost positioned where they need to be. You're just gonna swivel those hips up, walk the feet back and make your way into a downward facing dog. So you're gonna be in a funny position. I'm going to rotate so you can see me, but press into your hands, lift your hips high. Might feel really good to stretch out your hamstrings after our seated twist. Good, and then coming into the left side, bring your left leg up, reach it up and back. Bend the knee and open up the hip without moving your shoulders or your hands. So this is really all about that left hip, reaching the knee up towards the sky, rolling out your ankle, maybe rolling out the knee, getting a little bit deeper into the hip joint. Finding something that feels good and juicy to you on this side. And then looking forward, we'll step that left foot up towards the left hand. And then we'll go ahead and drop the knee down. Once you ground yourself, bring the arms overhead, nice big circle, reaching up. And then exhale, we'll go ahead and place the hands to the front thigh. So bearing in mind our three options on this side. Number one, straightening the arms, pressing the thigh away from you and lifting the ribs off the thigh. Dropping into that right hip. Option number two, the right arm lifts and reaches over to the left, sinking into the hips just a little bit deeper, really connecting with that psoas muscle. One of the deepest muscles in the body, if not the deepest. Option number three, both hands stacked once again onto that left thigh. Top of the foot is grounded to the mat. Press into the thigh and lift the knee. Strengthening your psoas muscle, toning it, conditioning it, healing it. Woo! Breathing through it. If you make a choice that doesn't feel right, you're welcome to switch it out. Wherever you are, stay mindful with your breath. Keep sinking into your hips, sending some love there. One more breath in. On the exhale, let's go ahead and release the hands down. We'll tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, and gently send the hips up and back, straightening your front leg. Press into your left big toe mound. Let's go ahead and lengthen the spine. Breathe the heart forward. And as you exhale, fold with a little bit more room, a little more space on that exhale, lengthening out. Either rooting through the left toe or maybe pulling toes back towards the shin, pressing into the heel, breathing and feeling some opening on this side. Keep your head and neck relaxed. Keep your left hip crease drawing back. Good, one more breath in. And as we exhale, soften into the front knee, re-ground the foot, and walk your fingertips forward. Now a nice easy transition into our L shape on this side. Think about really rooting through your left foot as you drag right toes up, coming into that very angular shape with the legs. You're flexing your right foot and you're kind of rolling the front of the right hip down towards the mat. So leveling the hips out. Imagine there's a wall that you're pressing or stamping your right foot into. Ground into the earth through your left foot and feel the engagement of both legs here. Big breath in and a big breath out. Not only are we stretching our hamstring, but we're strengthening it and we're working to strengthen our stabilizing our outer hip muscle here. Stay with me, guys. Breathe in. Now on the exhale, breathe out and wrap your right ankle behind your left. Line up your little toes as much as you can. Try to root the entire sole of the foot to the mat and fold down and in. Woo! Feeling it on this side. Stay nice and relaxed as much as you can. Breathe through any sensation. Adjust as you need to. You could always come up onto a block if that takes a little of the weight or the pressure off. Beautiful. One more breath in. Let it go. Lift up, look forward. Unhook the right toes and send them all the way back to the back of the mat. And go ahead and heel toe your left foot over to the right side, lowering the shin down and bringing your knee to the outside of your wrist. Look back over your right shoulder and just check out the placement of your heel. Line it up with your right sit bone and make sure your toes aren't sickling back behind you. Coming upright, level out your hips, get your pelvis neutral. If you need to, pad up onto that left side. And staying upright if this feels good to you tonight, or bringing yourself down. Enjoying some deep breaths here with our eyes closed. Taking that journey inward. Noticing what feels different on this side. Man, what a difference the side makes, right? Just be cool with it. Just be accepting of your body, where it is, how it is, and just keep beginning again. That's really the practice. Starting new, beginning again, accepting where we are by being in this present moment, and the moment after that, and the moment after that. That's the practice. It's just being there. You've done the hard work already by showing up and making it to your mat. And now we just practice the presence as we move and we breathe with intention and compassion and honor for all that our bodies are and all that they can do. Let's take a full breath in. Exhale to let it go. Slowly bring yourself back and upright. And we're going to sit onto our left sit bone as we sweep that right leg all the way around and across. So coming into our seated twist on this side. Again, try to level out your sit bones. Your right one might want to hike up off of the mat. You could always pad up or just over time, see if it will naturally settle in. Press the right foot to the floor. Now bring your right fingertips back behind you, prop into them and lift your spine. Bring the left arm up, inhale. On the exhale, either wrap your shin or bring the elbow to the outside of the knee. As you breathe in, you're gonna find length. And as you breathe out, you're gonna find your twist. Bringing your gaze back behind you if you can. Rotating that right shoulder back as much as you can. Feeling that nice wringing out sensation right through the center of the body, up the length of the spine. Couple breaths here, breathing in, lengthening. Breathing out, twisting. Good, one more breath in. On the exhale, we'll slowly release. Unwind yourself here. Let's bring our legs out in front of us. We're gonna bring the soles of the feet to the mat and the knees wide. Press into your finger pads and come into yogi squat. So our hips should be pretty open here. We're gonna find our inner knees with our elbows, pressing the palms together, drawing the thumbs in towards our heart, lengthening the tailbone down and lifting our heart up. If your heels are lifted, you could always roll the mat up and rest your heels on the rolled part of the mat, or you could also bring a blanket underneath them. Keep your feet nice and wide. You want your ankles underneath your hips. This can help to steady you in the pose. Send some breath into your hip creases, your groin. Let your spine decompress here. Get nice and long. Take a beautiful breath in. On the exhale, let the fingertips drop to the mat and find a forward fold, dropping the crown of the head down, letting yourself go. Let's slowly roll ourselves up to stand, stacking the body one bone at a time, letting your arms get really heavy, letting the head come up last. Roll your shoulders up, back and down a couple of times, just letting that go. And make your way to the middle of your mat if you're not already there. So coming into the flow part, the moon salutation part of our practice. So the first part maybe felt a little bit yang. This will be a little more yin, just finding a nice balance as we try to kind of ground ourselves through our practice and all the energies that we find going on in our world today. So I will walk you through a moon salutation if you've never done one before. It's really beautiful. We do a couple of poses in one direction and then flow and do them back in another. So just Be with me. We'll take our toes to meet and then bring your arms up and overhead. Let's reach for our left wrist with our right fingertips. Breathe in. And on the exhale, lean over to the right, pressing the hips to the left. Coming into our crescent side bend. Really accessing that sensation or that feeling of the moon. Little crescent moon here. Breathe in, come to center, switch sides, grab your right wrist, exhale up and over to the left, pressing your hips to the right, staying rooted through your feet. Beautiful stretch for the side body. And then inhale as you rise up through center, release the grip, and as you exhale, step out into five-pointed star. So reach your fingertips up and away from you, turn your toes out and your heels in. And gently lean back, lifting the heart. Find your star quality. Let yourself sparkle in all directions. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, look forward, bend into the knees, draw your arms to goalpost, goddess pose. Notice if you need to kind of walk your feet a little bit wider, I probably could. And maybe just take a little rock from side to side. Oh. Feel those hips, man. We got deep and into them. Set your shoulders back a little bit more. Find that alignment of your head over your heart and your heart over your hips. There's this upward lift in the front body and a downward lift on the back body. So see if you can feel that in this pose. Good. We'll straighten the legs as we inhale. On the exhale, arms come out to a T. Turn your left toes in, drop your left heel away, setting up for triangle pose. Reach out and over your front thigh as you pull your right hip back and gently release that right arm down, left arm up. So lean back into the pose. I like to press the back of my right hand into my calf because that gives me a little more room to lean back. Rotating the ribs underneath me on the right side, lifting my left ribs up. Take a nice full breath in here, root through your feet. On the exhale, rise up and turn the chest towards your right toes. Hop the left foot back and in just a little bit. Finding pyramid pose, take a deep breath in as you set your shoulders onto your back. On the exhale, we're going to lean out and over that front thigh and release the fingertips down. We've been in a similar pose here. Try to wrap your right hip back, round through both feet, and roll your inner thighs in and back towards the back of the mat. Let your head go. Nice deep breath as you lengthen your torso out and over your thighs. Breathe in, let's look forward here. Breathe out as you bend into your right knee, step your left foot back for a lunge. Pressing the hips down, lift your heart up. Let's add on dropping the knee, make a big circle with the arms as if you were tracing the size of the full moon with your fingertips reaching up. And then on the exhale, let's bring the hands down. Pop that back knee up, take a quarter turn to the left, coming into Skandasana pose here. So you're on the ball of your right foot and the heel of your left foot. Left leg is long, draw your left toes back towards you. You can rest on your fingers for support, or maybe try bringing your hands to Anjali Mudra in front of your heart. Finding a little balance here, feeling the wobbles. Breathing into that left inner leg line. Oh yeah. One more breath in. On the exhale, release the hands down. Now flow yourself over to Skandasana on the other side. Nice and easy. Bending into the left knee, balancing on the left ball of the foot and the right heel. Take your time to find your balance on this side. Try to keep your ankles strong, the top of the foot pressing forward. Keeping your spine long. Rooting down. One more breath in. On the exhale, hands come down, a quarter turn, coming into your lunge on this side. We'll drop the right knee down and let's make that full moon circle with the arms, lifting, circling all the way up towards the top. And then hands to the mat, pop the back knee up and take your lunge on this side. Press through that back heel, melt the heart, lifting it forward, softening the shoulders. Good, one more beautiful breath in. And on the exhale, straighten the front leg and hop the right foot in and up about 3 feet. Turn the toes out, we'll come into pyramid pose on this side. So stretch your spine long, looking forward, and then fold over your front thigh, drawing that left hip back. Ground through your feet. Wrap your inner thighs in and back, turn them on. Deep breath in. Exhale it out. Beautiful. Opening to triangle pose. So bring your left hand to the inside of your left calf and turn open to the right. Lifting your right arm up and overhead. You can change the position of your foot if you need to, that back foot. Maybe open the legs a little wider. Lean back. Breathing strongly through your feet. Lift your heart up. Lengthen your spine as you reach out through the crown of the head. One more deep breath in. On the exhale, rise all the way up. Now spin the toes out, bend the knees, cactus the arms, and find your goddess pose. Taking a little rock maybe from side to side, trying to align those shoulders right over the hips, grounding through the earth with your feet. And then inhale, find your 5-pointed star. Let's stretch out, rooting through the feet, feeling our energy expanding and releasing and radiating out in all directions. And then bring your hands overhead, step your feet together. Let's grab the right wrist with the left hand. Inhale, exhale over to the left as we press the hips to the right. Inhale, rise up through center, other side, up and over to the right, hips press to the left. Stretching out. Inhale, up through center, and exhale, hands to your heart. Let's close our eyes, soften the tops of the shoulders, relax the muscles in your face. Feel the beautiful effects, the groundedness that we gain from our practice. Good, one more beautiful breath in. And exhale to open the eyes and to release. Let's make our way down and onto the mat. We'll take a little easy stretch here, extending our right leg out, bending the left knee and bringing the sole of the foot to the inside of the thigh. Let's go ahead and just turn the torso to face the extended leg and reach our arms forward, grabbing onto our shin or our ankle. Janu Shirshasana, really nice release. A final big stretch for our hamstring and a nice release for the low back. Turn your ribs a little bit more to the right. So try to draw your left ribs in towards your right thigh. Oh, so good. Nice, and then walking the hands back and up. Take your left hand back behind you. We'll sweep the right arm back and up as we come into our stargazer pose. Onto that left shin, stretching out the right leg. Press your hips forward as much as you can. Squeeze your glutes. And come on down. Let's switch sides, left leg out and the right knee. Bring the sole of the foot inside of the thigh. Turn your chest towards your extended leg and walk it out. Any amount here. Finding your ankle, your shin, maybe the sole of your foot. If you had a strap, you could use that here too. That could be really nice. Flex your left toes back towards you and roll your torso to the left. Adding a little twist here. Good, one more breath in. And exhale to release as you walk it back. Right hand back behind you. Let's press into it as we lift up onto our right shin. Send the hips forward, let the head drop back. Point through your left toes, breathe in, and exhale to take it all the way down. Nice. Come onto your back. Let's take a full body stretch. So reach the arms overhead, reach the toes away from you. Feel as if you're stretching right out from your midsection in both directions. Good. And then bring your arms alongside of you. We're just going to pike our hips off the mat. So draw the knees in and see if you can just use your core muscles to kind of pike the hips up. So you can stay here, maybe support yourself at your low back, maybe come all the way into plow, your choice, but just staying here can feel really nice too. You can feel a good contraction of your abdominals, and a really nice opening on the back side of the body. If you'd like to drop your knees to your ears, coming into death man's pose, you're welcome. Or just keep it somewhere like this. Please do not move your head around in this pose. Keep your neck stable, grounding through your shoulders, sending some really nice breaths into your back as it decompresses. Opening up the back body here. One more breath in. On the exhale, root through your arms. Use them like brakes as you roll through your spine, slowly lowering down. Tailbone touches down. You're welcome to bend your knees, bring the soles of the feet to the mat here, or keep going. Pressing your legs together, gluing them together, and just using core muscles to bring the legs all the way down. Yay. All right, slide your palms with your thumbs, hooking underneath your sit bones. Fish pose to open up the front line of the body. Press into your elbows, lift your chest, and then drop the crown of the head back and down, opening up your throat, your heart, the entire front line of the body, pointing your toes away from you. Maybe you want to lift your feet off the mat. That turns it into a little more of an active pose. Do what feels really good for you here and let your heart open as you roll your shoulders back. One more big breath in. On the exhale, slowly release and bring your sweet bodies into Savasana. So you may want to grab a blanket, placing that either over you or maybe rolled up and underneath your knees, something that would feel kind of good and yummy and restorative, something that would really nurture your body on a cold winter night. Whatever feels good, try to give yourself that pleasure. And then once you feel comfy and cozy, relax the entire backside of your body into the mat. Turn your palms up. Let the muscles in your face go soft. Maybe separate your lips a little bit so that your jaw relaxes. Let all the bones in your body get nice and heavy. Feel the weight of your body, gravity drawing you towards the earth. Let that be a really comforting feeling, a really grounding feeling. Give yourself permission to just kind of surrender into that coziness. Let your breath just breathe itself. Let your thoughts just pass like little clouds. Try to be as unattached as you can be. As you deepen your time in Savasana. A time where we integrate our practice within our body on so many levels. So important. Let your exhales take you a little bit deeper as your body gets softer and yields a little bit more towards the earth. Keeping your eyes closed, don't change a thing. Just let your awareness start to tune in a little more. Bringing in the sounds that are around you. Noticing what you can hear. Feeling the air against your skin. The blanket or the clothing that you have, noticing what that feels like. Let's take a little scan of your brain and notice how the mind is. Has it surrendered some of its control to the heart? You feel like the heart maybe has a little more command at this point. I hope it does. Let a little movement start to come into your body, taking whatever feels right to kind of bring you back, stretching, rolling, reaching. And in your time and in your way, maybe you roll off to one side or you rock yourself up. Take your body up and into a seated position. Bringing yourself to root one more time here, hands in front of the heart. Closing the eyes, letting yourself feel your groundedness, your connection, your ability to anchor, to find that earth. Every time you need to come back, just bring these sensations to mind. Take a moment to pause, to ground, to feel your feet, your sit bones, whatever you need to come back. And with practice, it won't take that long to feel this yummy, grounded sensation. Practice is being present, feeling yourself in the now. Bringing the thumbs to third eye center, let's bow to one another, offering ourselves up to the light within us all. Namaste. Thank you, yogis, for showing up tonight and for being here for this moon flow. I hope it served you well. I look forward to seeing you again before this month is over. Bring some sunshine into your lives. Namaste.